Before you hire a private investigator for your divorce or domestic case, there is one phone call you need to make first, and it's not to your investigator, it's to your attorney. Because who hires the investigator, who directs the investigation, and who receives the investigator's work may make a significant difference in how that information is handled during litigation. I'm Investigator Andy Crutchfield with Advanced Protective Services, and today we're going to talk about why in many divorce and domestic cases your private investigator should be working through your attorney. Now let me make something clear right from the beginning. I am not an attorney, and this is not legal advice. This is an investigator explaining why the relationship between the client, the attorney, and the investigator needs to be handled correctly. Let's say you're going through a divorce. You believe your spouse is having an affair, and maybe you think they're hiding assets. Maybe you're concerned about where your children are being taken and who they're being exposed to, or whether your spouse is being truthful about their activities. Your first reaction may be to pick up the phone, call a private investigator, and say, I want to find out what's going on. And I understand that. But there may be a better way to handle it. Talk to your attorney first. Explain your concerns, and if your investigation is necessary, allow your attorney to determine how that investigator should be brought into the case. Why? Well, that's simple. One important reason involves what is commonly called the attorney work product doctrine. So, what is attorney work product? In simple terms, the work product doctrine can protect certain materials prepared by or for an attorney in anticipation of litigation for trial. That can include an attorney's notes, strategies, legal theories, mental impressions, and depending on the circumstances, investigative materials developed to help the attorney prepare the case. The basic idea is simple. Our legal system recognizes that the attorney needs to be able to investigate a case, develop a strategy, and prepare for litigation without automatically being required to hand everything they've learned or developed over to the opposing side. Now, here is where the private investigator comes in. If you hire me directly and tell me to investigate your spouse, I'm working directly for you. But if your attorney retains me to assist in preparing his case, I'm working at the discretion of legal counsel as part of the attorney's preparation for litigation. That distinction can be important, and there's another reason I prefer working through an attorney in domestic cases: direction. One of the biggest mistakes people make during a divorce is allowing emotion to determine the direction of the investigation. And believe me, divorce cases can be extremely emotional. A client may want an investigator to spend hours, days, or even weeks proving something that has absolutely no legal significance to the case. You may desperately want to know who your spouse is seeing, but your attorney may tell you that the more important question is whether marital assets are being spent on that person. You may want surveillance conducted every night of the week. Your attorney may know that what the case actually needs is documentation of one specific activity. You may want to prove that your spouse lied to you. Your attorney needs evidence that can actually help them in court. Those are two completely different objectives. A good private investigator gathers facts. A good attorney understands how those facts fit into the legal strategy of the case. And when the two are working together, the investigation becomes more focused, more efficient, and, well, to be quite frank, often less expensive for the client. Instead of me spending 40 hours investigating everything you're suspicious about, your attorney may give me 3 specific objectives. Document this activity, identify this person, determine whether this asset exists. Now, we have a focused investigation. There is also another important issue. Not everything that an investigator discovers is necessarily helpful to your case. Sometimes we uncover information that is unexpected. Sometimes that information changes the direction of the case. And sometimes the investigation simply doesn't produce what the client hoped it would. When an investigator is working with your attorney, the attorney can evaluate the information we developed and then determine how it fits into the overall legal strategy. That is the attorney's job. My job as the investigator is different. I locate people, I conduct surveillance, I interview witnesses, I identify assets, I document activities, and I gather facts. Then I provide those facts to the attorney so the attorney can determine their legal significance. That separation of responsibilities is extremely important. Now, does this mean that you can never hire a private investigator directly? Absolutely not. People hire private investigators directly every day. There are many situations where that is perfectly appropriate. But if you are already involved in litigation, preparing for litigation, or dealing with a divorce, custody dispute, or other serious domestic matter, my recommendation is simple. Talk to your attorney first. Ask your attorney whether an investigation is necessary. Ask what evidence would actually help your case, and ask whether the investigator should be retained through the attorney's office. Because the goal of an investigation should never be simply to satisfy your curiosity. The goal should be to gather lawful, relevant, and useful information that helps your attorney represent you effectively. Remember this: your attorney develops the legal strategy. Your investigator develops the facts. And when those two professionals are working together from the beginning, you have a much stronger investigative team. I'm Investigator Andy Crutchfield with Advanced Protective Services. If you found this information to be useful, like the video, subscribe to the channel, it's right over here, and share it with someone who might be dealing with a divorce, custody dispute, or domestic investigation. And before you hire a private investigator for your case, make that first call to your attorney.